Good night, everybody. Tonight we have a special guest. I know back in my school days, this was the captain of Big St. Anthony's team. As much as I hated it as a CIC man,
yeah, boy.
Kind of.
You have to respect it.
Yeah, Julius is like my second cousin or third cousin. I don't know what's the official thing.
We gotta figure it out.
Pumpkin in Trinidad, grapevine in US.
Well, there it is. The one and only Julius James, the man working with Inter Miami now. But I don't want to go into too much of what we know on people. We want to make sure we ask the questions and get Julius to say it himself. So with that, I will let Osei take it away as usual with the first questions and things like that.
Yeah.
He's ready to go too. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. Good night again, Julius. Nice to meet you, bro. I'm the guy that DM'd you first, so I hope you weren't alarmed by it. But this podcast we started on, was it the 31st of December?
Yeah, I think it was literally the 31st.
31st of December last year. So we're trying to do this podcast is shine a spotlight, even though you may not need the spotlight as much, but we're trying to get as many people as possible to shine a spotlight on past and present heroes of Trinidad and Tobago football. Because when we think about it, there's a huge gap with regards to who we know, who we may not know. Like last week we had, we had Steve David on. Many people may not know him, but a very prolific striker. So tonight we just want to get to know a few things about you while chopping it up. So to start it, I like to find out about developmental years, to see if you could find any common ground between footballers that has some success in at a high level. So where did you first start playing the game, or where did you fall in love with the game first?
All right. Well, before I start, I just wanted to say a pleasant good night to my fellow Trinidad and Tobago Kings and brothers.
Kings and Lions.
Yeah. And Lions. And to anyone listening in, that will listen to this in the future.
Right.
I hope that this is an enjoyable segment for you, and I hope that our conversation elevates you and gives you the opportunity to grow and become a better person and footballer.
Well said.
I like all that. So,
when did I start to play football? I started when I was 12, yo. I started to play football when I was 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. I am from Maloney Gardens, Trinidad and Tobago, born and bred. When I first started to do sports, it was swimming. My sister, she had asthma when we attended secondary primary school, Tranquility Government Primary School. Yeah. She had asthma, so there was a school program where children could go and swim and stuff, and my parents took a liking to it because it helped her with her lung capacity.
Right.
And one day I was just there going with her and stuff, and being a youngster, I started swimming, and I became dominant in it at the age of 10.
Okay.
And I was invited to go be a competitive swimmer and stuff, but the responsibility was very high. It was getting up early in the morning and stuff like that. And I lived up in the east.
5 o'clock, you had to be in the pool.
Yeah, if anybody know about swimming,
5 o'clock in the pool.
Yeah, and that I could not do it, so I stayed pre-competitive for the whole time, and I stopped to go to common entrance to study for common entrance. And when I went back, I passed for St. James Sec, and I was going to school there. When I went back to start to swim, I didn't like it anymore. You know, I didn't love it. And while, you know, you're in school now, girls, PE, everything. One of my brethren in school was Abiola Clarence. He invited me to, he saw that how I could play, you know, but I was physical. I was always a physical kind of player.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to play the game, but my tenacity in terms of just not wanting anybody to pass me or, you know, like that, he kind of saw that in me, and, you know.
Wild man power.
Exactly.
Yeah. Real wild power. Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So he invited me to coaching school, to Leicester Young coaching school. And I didn't have any money at the time. My parents didn't have any money to pay for something like that. And we tried to go to Ja Lillywhite, and his price was very high. And we went to obviously Leicester Young coaching school, and he gave us a scholarship, me and my parents, to be able to be there. And we weren't paying the full price, but the value that we got over there, myself as a player, as my first kind of real coach, was fundamental. You know, I couldn't juggle the ball when I first started there, and people, you know, they laughed at me a little bit and stuff. But
of course, yeah.
That didn't matter to me. Yeah. I fell in love with the game, man. Yeah. I just fell in love with it, with how difficult it was, and I saw a beginning, and I could see an end point on TV. Yeah. You know, at that point in time, Dwight York was putting, you know, football was just kicking off on TV real plenty and stuff. Yeah. And this new exciting thing was in my life, you know, that I couldn't really conquer and I couldn't fully understand. But the more I practiced, the better I got. So, and I realized that it was an opportunity to help my family, to take my family out of where the situation that we were in economically.
Right.
Yeah, so from then on, you know, there was an opportunity to play. There was a trial up in the Arima Velodrome. Two of my friends came on a Sunday morning. Church time, right?
The brave.
Right? I'm knocking on my door talking about this trial up in the Velodrome. But I say, and it was for a year older than I was, so I wasn't sure. So I tell them, I was like, yeah, go and talk to my parents, or they could ask them if you want.
Jeez.
Anthony and Kino. When I went up there, the trial was exactly for my age. They were too old by months. And that was the program to enter into the 2001 Under-17 World Cup, bro.
Wait, what?
Wait.
How long were you playing before this trial?
So I started to play when I was 12, and the trial started like a year after. The trials, because that 2001 team,
it was a long
real trials. They had like so many players. It was a big catchment of players.
It was like about a 3-year program.
Yeah.
Also, about that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I was blessed to be able to be part of it from the beginning. I was one of the players that opened the program up, and yeah, man, one of the guys that took me to the trial, Kino, he was stabbed to death. That's something that we kind of we could talk about, violence and things in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, some of our friends not being here today because of choices that they made. But that's how it started, and things go on to other things in football. I know we'll probably talk about that later on, but that's basically how football started for me. And I dedicated myself to the game. I loved it. And being in a 3-year program to study football that culminated in playing in a World Cup at home.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Wonderful experience.
That's a dream, bro.
That's a real dream. So I normally ask the full set of questions, so I'll go back and then go forward. So from what I heard, the second time we had Akila Malone on recently, and she said she started at 14. You started at 12. That's something else that you didn't expect, right?
Oh,
she was playing cricket. You were a swimmer. So that's crazy.
I think that's the application.
Starting 4 5, right? So that
the application. I think
natural ability. I guess it was easier to train the lion than put a heart in the tin man or something like that. But anyway,
well, I will tell you something. And I'm realizing this more. It used to be incredible to me. Oh, 12 years old, wow, incredible. And here in Akila, 14 years old, it's still incredible. But as a coach now, a lot of the things when we put down our identification, character traits of our players, right? A lot of the things that we look for is not physical ability. It's not your touch, because everybody gonna have a touch. A lot of what we look for is intangibles.
Right.
You understand? So for me, I think that because I had some intangibles that just needed to be harnessed in football, refined, that it was kind of easier to be able to fall into that form, and obviously with the blessings of God and timing and everything,
amen,
things kind of work out, in a great way.
Real timing. Your two brethren just come and look for you.
And they were too old, eh?
They were too old.
I thought I was too young. I was like, oh, boy, this is gonna be real hard, boy.
Wow. And the amazing part is, that you had a good brethren that was able to, convince the parents, like,
yeah, boy, what's that?
Could again, man.
Trust me. Mom's gonna run him too.
Yeah.
We became in the name of Jesus, and you see, God really worked out.
Yeah. What do you mean?
So, it's our next question. You don't want to. I want to really hear about this, because you're the guy who trained you first. He didn't have to take you in. Didn't have to get a scholarship. So tell us a little more about that program and what he did for you.
Lester Young was a very young, talented coach in the West.
Yeah.
He was connected to CIC, and he coached a lot of players from CIC. And even though, because he had that connection, he was looked down upon, because, CIC, white boy thing, rich school, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't like that for him. Lester was a professional in how he carried about his coaching school, and the depth of the things that he taught us, was really, really cool for me. That kind of opened my love for the game. People just get tired, but the teachers in society, the coaches in society are very responsible for passion being ignited. You know what I mean? And, the stuff that my brain kind of just took off into the sport, and like the chip pass, the lofted pass with backspin.
One of my favorites.
The driven lofted, the driven with backspin, them kind of things this man was teaching us. And at a young age, where for me, all I was seeing was play. All I was doing was playing, was sweating in the street. You know what I mean? In the yard, or in the buildings in Maloney. You know what I mean? So to get that kind of knowledge of the game at a young age, kind of helped me. But also, I don't know exactly what him and my parents spoke about, but I know that we didn't have money. to pay to go there, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I dedicated myself in that way, where I know somebody was making a sacrifice, to give me this opportunity. So, you know, I just, as I say, I just fell into the game like deep, man, deep, where everything that I learned from him, going forward, was something that I took home to me. You know, even whatever ball I had, if it was bus, I still practicing how to curl it. Balls, whatever, I still doing my little turn. It might song pop and whatever, but until I get on next one, using the neighbor wall, getting a little cuss out in the night when they coming home because he was dirty. But under the street lights, under the blinking street lights, you know, doing what you had to do because you just have this passion inside you that you just want it, you know, you want it badly, and it has a connection to your family doing well in life, and you know, and just wanting more for yourself.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Keep going.
So what's not that? You know, that on that 17 squad, right? This is where I go fanboy out.
Go ahead.
All right, so we used to just as a story. We used to ball boy for when you guys were at all your peak. In South, it had Princestown was a really good side.
Yeah.
My cousin and I used to play for Rondon Bacchus. It used to have Lindsay Sherwood, Andre Pacheco.
Yes.
So these guys used to look like stars in my eyes, right? At 14 and thing. This was the height you want to reach.
Tucky, Nkosi Blackman.
Well, I was going to get to there. So,
my bad.
It's not a problem. But so I went to St. Benedict's. Shocky.
Oh gosh.
It had Andrea Alexis, Chinky. It had CPO. It had these guys.
Some of the boys from Tobago came across and went to St. Benedict's too, right?
Or what was his name, boy? Buck.
It had Buck.
What's that? So these guys, Roderick Anthony was the next one. What was this? Signal skipper? I forget. This team was pivotal because I think everybody we get half there. I think to go and watch the matches in the newly built Manny Ramjon and thing. So you by chance got the opportunity to go and train and actually make this side. That's what we should be doing. 3 years is a good time to work with players. Tell us a little bit about that 2001 squad or the journey up to that.
Whoa, man. That was one of the most blessed things that ever happened to me in my life, man.
Yeah.
If it's something that I could thank Trinidad and Tobago football for, is that 3 years, you know, close friends. Kenwin Jones was on our squad.
Okay, right.
John Michael Williams.
Yeah.
You know, we had who was on the national team that.
So was Bristol on that squad, boy?
Bristol was on that squad.
Yeah, real Benix, man.
We spent our formative years together, man, from 12 to 17. And, you know, we travel the world. We travel the Caribbean. We travel all over the world. We then reached to Asia. We reached South America. We reached to Europe.
I didn't know that.
The Caribbean, the United States.
Africa?
We didn't go to Africa, even though our coach was Nigerian.
Oh, who was the coach?
Chief.
Yeah, so that Chief.
Chief Onegbengi.
Yeah, something, yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to pronounce.
Okay. It's a long name. His name starts with O. And I'm about 3 Ws.
Adebayo Odingbingi or something like that. But he had taken a team to a World Cup. He had taken another team to a World Cup. And right before the World Cup happened, like 6 months before, they fired him and brought in some Brazilians.
Oh.
Simoes. You all know Simoes?
Right.
Yeah, I know that name.
I remember René Simoes.
Yeah, René. So, I had a dream to travel and stuff like that, and that was taken care of. To compete and stuff, you know. We got to make mistakes. We got to live the football life, man. We weren't at home the whole time. We were in camp. They taught us, we had etiquette. Someone came in and taught us etiquette, hygiene. It's a good program, and I hope one day that Trinidad and Tobago, that some brilliant people will come up with a youth program that would put our talented youths through a few years of training and culture and stuff like that.
So is that program still in place? Like a sort of like having the youths going through years together and thing? No?
Not that I'm aware.
It have nothing for youth. In our country, it have nothing for youths. It have no serious organization that is geared towards our youths in football. Nothing. No developmental, nothing.
So if it was there before, we're gone.
Oh, it's because we was hosting
for the World Cup.
We was hosting, and we didn't want to get embarrassed.
I thought I was going to tell my Jack wanted to do some real good for the country.
Hey, behave yourself,
I thought that's where it was going. Sorry,
it's too early for that, Andre. But it really hurt me that the under 23 they didn't even compete to qualify for Olympics. Those kind of things. Anyway.
Well, what you expect? You have players that chronologically getting older, right? Yeah. So they have to play on the senior national team, but through the chronological years, there's no development. So we top heavy. We don't have no spine. We don't have no spine. We don't have no legs. We just have a big robust top of guys that kind of develop themselves and come through the club system and went away and went to college and pick up, and then guys kind of singing now, but there's no system, there's no pillar, there's no middle point, there's no strong point to hold us down, which is a youth developmental system. I mean, where else people don't just turn into big footballers right away? Where's the culture? They have nobody teaching that. We have nothing like that in the country. And that's something that I'm passionate about, because now I'm in a pro academy coach in the United States. And the level these children are at. and you have coaches like me pouring into them. So how far do you think? We don't know how far we are behind in Trinidad and Tobago, you know.
We know.
Have an idea.
We know.
Trust me.
You don't have an idea, because if you come and see these youth train and play, you will understand.
They're better than all of we. They're better than all of we on the squad right now.
We were supposed to start developing our World Cup team years ago. But that's another topic.
The times when I've been up by my uncle and training with his youth team, and I just watching it like
right.
Not to step over what you're saying, because it's real good stuff. So just to finish up on the 2001 team, what happened after the competition? Why won't we have basic crop kinda in under 17, but what happened to the mature crop?
Well, what I could say is, as in true, I'm not sure if I answered your question properly. Are you asking me what happened to the players after?
Where the play, I mean, we keep them together. We kept them together for 5 years. Why don't we keep them together for the next 5 years?
as in common, as in we just went back to who we were. Not who we were, who we have been systematically forced to be.
Yeah.
Right? Which is disorganized and unplanned.
Right.
And unfuturistically thinking. Like, okay, we spend how much are thousands or millions of dollars on these kids for 3 years. What are we gonna do with them after? Nothing happened.
Yeah.
We just went into our secondary schools.
That's
and
crazy.
Yeah.
You buy a beamer after the 5-year service warranty. Say, yeah, we go stop out. We go change the tires and the oil and thing, man. Let's pack.
So you see, the intention wasn't to develop footballers, and it was just to not be embarrassed while hosting the World Cup.
Yeah.
And post World Cup, it had no real motivation. All right, it served its purpose, and that was it. And that's the strategy behind it.
Well, the depth of that kind of goes far because positive things that came out of it were the stadia that we got, right, and the pro league that followed. That we needed to have a World Cup, you have to have a pro league. Right? So in your country or whatever, and that's the same thing with how the US started, and there's a whole thing.
Right. Didn't know that.
But it had some positive things that came out of it, and you know.
But it sounds like your impression is that the positive things that came out of it were kind of unplanned positive things, because it wasn't really like a long-term vision to try to get all these things to happen. It just kind of happened as a result of going to
the long-term stop. Yeah, it stopped at the 3 year at the World Cup. The buck stopped there, and then they tried to keep it going, but there wasn't a plan for the country. Like let's take this team and let's go to the World Cup. Let's take these 17-year-olds and let's continue our program and let's go to the World Cup. It was just, all right, they were playing on under 17, and then the under 23s go catch them, and then the men's team. And
that's something the men talk about already too, yeah? Go ahead.
Yeah, we had to do our next interview, because on top of that, we could talk about we know football is a brain sport.
Yeah.
If you're a baller, if you're a real baller, you know football is a brain sport.
Yeah.
People just get tired. You can't be and play football. especially at a high level.
Yeah.
Now tell me, right? If all you know anything about Trinidad and Tobago blackballing players.
Yeah, I've heard. I
don't know.
That getting into my questions just now. What else? We covered it.
All right. So
we covered it.
Don't hold it. No.
All I'm getting tonight. I don't know what I'm getting now.
I like this.
Ask a question.
No, hear what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it.
Let me just
let us stay finished.
So continuing.
St.
Anthony's. Right? That's why I think I first heard the name. St. Anthony's keeper. I was a defender back in the day. Right? Andrew, I'm not a defender no more. Anyway, I was a defender back in the day, right? So I look at all the defender, the Bristol from my school, CPO, right? Who winning all my cousin Breezers, run backers from Princess Town. But who is the man who getting the football clips and thing on TV6? Julius James going up for a header and scoring.
Yeah.
Come on. So, you have a big impression on me. Tell us a little bit about the St. Anthony's glory days in Intercol.
For me, everything was always a means to an end. My goal was set. I know what I wanted to do, which was to increase my life and increase the life of my family through football.
Right. Okay.
So playing in St. James Sec was okay, but again, through blessings and through just sequence of events, I just end up in St. Anthony's. You know, so because I wanted to go to QRC,
Right.
That's a big holiday.
That's divine intervention.
That's God, boy. You can't say God didn't need it.
I was from South and I wanted to go QRC too. But anyway,
that's divine intervention.
Misled.
I take the test, all kind of thing, talk to them, but they didn't know who I was.
Right.
They didn't know who I was. Right?
Yeah.
And after that, from playing second 11 in the Savannah for St. James Sec, this Newsday reporter, Nigel Simmons Potts, he saw me and he went and told Grovey about me.
Yeah.
That's his heart, that's his soul. Groves, no? Right? And things just kick up. I went over to St. Anthony's. Boom, boom, boom. Right? I had to repeat Form 3, which I didn't really like, but it worked out perfect for me. And from Form 3, I was starting on the first 11 team.
From Form 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So who were some of the big guys you looked up to? And you remember that? Who you looked up on the team at that time?
The Westfield brothers, Demelon Westfield, Damian Westfield, Gary Gibbons was there, Sean Cooper, Patrick, Michael Jermaine was the goalkeeper.
Right.
Who was on the left?
Wait, how I remember none of these names, boy?
Gary Gibbons. I know
Gary Gibbons. I remember Gary Gibbons.
Our skipper was a dark-skinned Indian fella.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a disgusting side. I remember
I played for a long time in St. Anthony's, you know.
Yeah, it was a disgusting side.
I started off with those guys that just came off from winning in the championship to playing with Johan C. Marshall.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Johan C. was under me.
Okay, you all played the centre backs together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Johan C. was under me. I was teaching Johan C. some of the things that I learned when we were playing in St. Anthony's. We won some trophies over there.
Kenwin was your year too?
Kenwin was on the bench when I was starting for St. Anthony's.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was younger than you.
He was coming on.
Yeah.
Right. He was a striker. He was a defendant.
He started in the defense.
Right.
Yeah. He wasn't getting no play there with Julius.
He had no sweat to get it.
He wasn't getting no play there with Julius.
Yeah, he had no sweat to get it. But you say you were tenacious. What other attributes you had? You are a good header of the ball. What was your best attribute?
There was a point in time in the game where my ability could have gone in any direction, right? In terms of skill and stuff. Like people just watch me play now. Well, people watch me play over the time, and when they come and watch me in training,
you skip off St. Anthony's.
Right. As I'd say, a lot of people don't realize that I choose to play a certain way to
make a team better.
Right. To be what I could be for the team, to improve the team. If that means not being the person to take 3, 4, 5, 6 touches and do risky stuff in the back, that is what I would be. Yeah. Because I'm a winner. I figure out in the situation what is needed and apply that through my skill set. And if it takes me being highly skilled in a situation, that could happen. And if it takes me dumping the ball 100 yards into the stands because is the 110th minute, right? And we going to win the trophy and we 1-0 up.
Yeah, you'll do that.
Yeah. So you're saying in training, so in training you be sharing all kind of spanner and things. It sounds like that's what you're saying.
The thing is, this is why I love football, because training is just a bunch of games that you're playing. Unless it's fitness, which smart coaches is putting ball work into fitness. You're always competing, and I love to compete. So your brain will just figure out the rules and the spaces in the rules and apply your skill to it and your understanding of things. So I used to win. If you look at my winning percentage in practice and stuff in all them games, I used to win almost all them games.
Yeah, you ain't playing that.
Nah, bro, why waking up? What are you waking up and doing and training in this hot sun for?
You're right.
If I'm not gonna win everything, what's the point?
You're right. So how you like on if I'm on a partner, you know, it was our partner who always joking, but who always joking, and he make and you lost our game.
Nah, the thing is, when you reach the professional ranks, the person not joking is a clown, because it's food. It's food on the table. You and your family. If you win a championship, you're more than likely guaranteed a contract for the next season. But anyways, some of my attributes as a young man, I was very inquisitive. I was very tenacious in terms of wanting something and going after something. So I would hunt the ball. You understand? I was very hungry.
High press.
To win the ball. You always felt like you have no space. And that's how I the kind of defender I was. I crowded you.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, anytime you had the ball around me, you was being hunted.
Right.
I was setting a trap for you to go into, and then you would feel like if you get hunted, right? But that's something that I honed over the years. Certain angles on the field, certain positions, certain corners. You know, the sidelines, putting strikers in certain spots based on their strong foot and stuff.
Right.
That. Because of me being inquisitive at a young age, on the field, I kind of answered a lot of questions, you know.
Explain.
And it gave me the opportunity. So figuring out, because I was always inquisitive, so my inquisition caused me to think deeper into people, into human, into your physical habits. So I would pick up on somebody's habits, a striker's habits.
All right, I understand.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
So I was
psychology.
So you can anticipate what you're gonna do. Yeah.
Yes. Blocking shots. You're gonna span on me.
Yeah. I know that already. I read that 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
The chop coming, but you know, based on how I used to practice tackling and stuff, based on the tackle, the back foot could still swing and get a chop if the person chop, you know.
Yeah.
Bro, the depth at which I studied the game and meditated and kind of visualize and stuff it helped me. That is why I was able to start at a later age and still be a professional, because it have deeper things to the game that could be utilized on the brain side that could make you a good player. And those are the things that kind of I utilized at a younger age, but kind of harnessed it more and more. And also one of my attributes was leadership.
Yeah.
Are you so on the field? Are you very communicative, or you are like a silent leader?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You be telling them you can't stand there.
Sorry.
You be telling them where to go and stand up and things. Stand up over there. Come over there. The man on your back side, wherever.
For the most part, I was an architect playing in the center back position. My job was, other than being a leader, was to organize the organize formations and help us to move together, because
right.
most of the times our compactness would beat teams. Our compactness would win us the ball because we have our trap set, right? Which is most of the times when I would be playing center back, we would lead the attack down into the corner or to the away from our middle, because that's the first part away from the goal. So you can be keeping possession and you think, but we just
you're not dangerous. You're not dangerous there. You're not dangerous there.
And that's
right, and I'm doing that with my mouth.
So right now you're talking Anthony's and the national team. What team are you thinking about there as you describe it?
So on St. Anthony's, my talk was not as high level as I am when I was, retiring. But I still was pretty communicative, I still was trying to talk and help my teammates and stuff like that. Is when I went to Houston Dynamo and I got traded after 6 months to DC, right? What I picked up there from Dominic Kinnear was that communication was a very high part of the game. And I thought I was communicative, but that communication that he was talking about was just extreme.
Non-stop.
Yeah, but I realized that kind of communication kept you into the game and kept you connected. Now, if you talking with your center back throughout the game, hey, let me push up. We dropping off now. A man to our left, a man to our right. We're not coming through. You understand? Clear. Time. Look left. Look right.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper. You understand? Yo, talk to him now. Next time the ball come, make him send the ball wide, blah, blah. That, throughout the game, bro, that keeps you on such a level, because another part of the game in football is intelligence. It have different types of intelligence, right? If you have spatial intelligence, you could be very good in football, right? But also emotional intelligence, because you have to control yourself within the game and stuff like that. But if you could talk to your teammates and get to their side of the game emotionally, you can get them to do anything.
Yeah.
And if you understand the game and formations and stuff and how to play, if you see the game from a above level and you see the formation, you see the cracks, you see the holes, you see blah blah, all the lines and stuff like that, and you could talk like that in that kind of intelligence in the game, then you're going to get minimal amount of goals scored on you as a center back every year. And your goalkeeper is going to be getting golden gloves and
golden glove and thing, yeah.
And your whole team going to be breaking defensive records and stuff. And that's something that used to happen to me on most teams that I went on to. We always broke defensive records. The goalkeeper always getting golden gloves. We always get into the championship. It's something like that, because, it's about time I start telling people about the kind of stuff a proper centre back does on the field.
Yeah. Right.
So
what I do at Houston Dynamo, that kind of communication, it break my heart to leave. It break my heart to get traded, but that high communication is what kind of increase.
Oh yeah, blossomed you as a player.
Yeah. And also my training habit.
Of course, yeah.
Training at a intense level and speed, and training like if you're playing.
Yeah.
It's incredible, yo. It's very incredible.
I wonder if that's what Jose had a problem with Dele Alli and Pogba, but I wonder if that's what I poke in his man. I book in this man.
No, it's probably that. I mean, if you want a man to about a certain level and he getting it, you go light a fire on the backside. That's never trouble. So, Julius, you ever like model yourself after any particular player, any particular defender growing up as a youth?
Yeah, I liked Fabio Cannavaro. He was one of my favorite.
One of the best.
Yeah. I you know when I was playing Italy, the Italian league was detrimental.
Yes. Yeah.
And the players would be scoring like 50 goals and thing in the EPL and in the Spanish league, and going to the Serie A and scoring 5 and the leg break.
Italy used to get one chance, and that's why Shevchenko was so deadly. Take it all the time.
You understand?
I don't like that guy at all.
Roots. That kind of defense. So I used to tell people I was Italian and think just because.
Yeah, of course. It's a real Trinitalian, you know.
Trinitalian number 27 or something.
It's a real Trinitalian.
But yeah. A defender from Cuba called Cordoba.
Yeah. Ivan. Colombia.
He used to play for Inter Milan.
It's Colombia.
Yes.
Colombia.
You know, those kind of defenders, for sure, those two.
Hard nosed.
Don't play.
And well, the similar style to what you described. They were the front foot defenders that is press hard. And then they have their partner that is sit back.
I wanted to ask you that though. Like, what kind of defender, you say like the press, but was it always press? Or it depends on the striker, it depends on the game?
Cover.
You were more the cover man.
I was
second defender. Second defender.
Yeah, second defender. I used to love to clean up.
Clean up and thing,
Send them through.
Yeah, but the incredible thing about it is that God blessed me with stupid athleticism.
Okay.
You understand? At UCONN, one of the top at collegiate athletic schools in the United States.
That's the college you went to, UCONN.
Yeah, I got a scholarship to go there. That was one of my dreams. But at UCONN, I had the second highest vertical in the whole athletic system.
Boy, a basketball man.
Basketballers, yeah.
So
the vertical is not what you could reach. You know,
the standing jump
is your height.
Okay.
What's the jump?
Your reach.
So how much is what? 40, 48?
Huh?
What was it like?
I can't remember. But the highest one was I was 2 and Rudy Gay. He's now in the NBA. He was 1.
Right.
So with all of that, and then my 40-yard dash was just stupid.
Serious? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was on a different level, yo. No, I went to break records wherever I went. I didn't care. I used to open before I went to UCONN. I opened the books and looked at all the records and stuff like that. I tell myself, I go in there and I go down just.
I don't think I ever heard anything like. I don't think I heard that before. That's crazy. So you're not. So you have something to set yourself against to what I'm trying to say. To compare what you're doing to. You won't just go in there blind.
You gotta shoot. So that was you know, I forget the question, but I'm not
you answered.
So UCONN now. So you say you're jumping higher than all them basketballs and things. How was that? How did you get to UCONN?
I didn't say higher.
It's reach.
The vote. Now I mean the vote.
Right. Yeah.
44, 48 vote and thing. But I like basketball and things. So sorry.
Ease up.
Yeah, why I get so hyped? I read just in basketball. So now man say he vote is something. That's something, you know.
It's number two.
Them are crazy bumps.
Yeah, it's crazy jump. Yeah.
My proof of it was you could ask the athletic guys there at UCONN, but also my winning percentage of headers over my career was extremely high. Every team I went on, the coaches would put me on their best headers, and the best headers would be on me, even if they were like taller than me. When we played Southampton, our coach put me to mark
Crouch? No.
Yeah.
Crouch. Not Crouch.
Yes.
Crouch.
Which was team he was playing
for?
Stoke?
I think it was Stoke.
He was playing for Stoke.
Was on the same team.
Yeah, Stoke. Yeah. That was at that point in time.
Was it Stoke?
I think it was Stoke.
Oh, is it a Stoke or Sunderland?
They came over in the US to play to do their
preseason, yeah.
And the coaches will put me to man.
Yeah, Mark Peter. Anyway, let me say nothing about Sancho, eh?
That was too easy. My question, I'll just say something because it I just want to get confirmed. You described yourself as retired. Did I hear that correctly just a few minutes ago?
Yeah, I don't play football anymore on a professional level or anything. I didn't announce it. Things happen real fast for me, how it happened. And that's our next just blessing, kind of just God thing. But I still miss it something, and I still feel that space. Footballers go through a kind of deep depression when they retire, because
most pros say they do.
It's tough. It's really tough. It's really tough.
Because you have a system, a regiment. You get up, you train, you do this at this time, you do that at the next time. So when you have all this free time, they say it's like.
But I mean, imagine Julius saying he start late at 12, but consider from 12 until now, he was doing the same thing every day.
About what, 36?
The same kind of vibes every day. So yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. Well,
I don't feel like if I was given ample opportunity,
Well, because I was going to ask if you consider yourself retired by choice or by circumstance.
It's both, because at multiple times in my career I had opportunities to not play football.
Yes, okay.
But I always wanted to play until the wheels fall off.
Right.
And the thing is, because I started late, my understanding of the game started to increase,
as you get older.
I changed my diet and stuff like that, and my body started to increase. My healing, my sleep, my brain started to just, because I stopped eating as much meat and animal protein, and I stopped eating as much flour and drinking juice, and my diet just became very more natural, right? And
so you didn't bacon shark for you when you go back to Trinidad.
I mean, in the off season and thing, and here and there, it's a balance. In terms of football, things started to really be a certain way for me, and that was at the back end. You know what I mean? And that is something that is sad about football, is that people know at this point in time, maybe it's happening, but people didn't realize that what the diet that they used to have as footballers was terrible,
Right?
Carb loading with a bunch of flour and pasta. That the gluten not really good for us.
Yeah.
And it creates mucus in your body, and these kind of things, drinking cow's milk and stuff, all those things, Gatorade, red sugar, those kind of things. We were taught that, and you would load up your body with those kind of things, which wasn't good. But now with education and the internet and everything like that, man, people could play longer. Look at them fellas playing for so much, and how much games men playing.
Yeah, real games.
And that's what that's make it funny to me when you're listening to some former players talking and saying and you're just watching them like, but dog, you couldn't play with these men. You was eating fish and chips and drinking beer every night. These men don't drink to read.
Look at the players now. Look at their body fat, yo.
Yeah.
Pep
don't play with that.
Like, it's not like big and heavy and stuff anymore because it's you know, people get for education.
Just a side note, I don't wanna our backline, that's how they look. They look like old school men who look like the body men of the ball. And I'm like, where the doing that now? That's not football like anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of bringing me to my next thing, right? Because given that your perspectives has evolved in the game, given that, I mean, you're 36, which is the age that, I mean, a lot of people who serious about the craft could still continue playing. I get the sense that I feel like you had more to contribute that wasn't utilized. So I was wondering if that feeling is accurate.
I mean,
what's that fishing for here? You fishing for something to do with?
No, I'm not fishing.
You're
because I mean, when I see our side collect 7, right, and I see some players that, I mean, I'm wondering if
Ivanovic still playing football.
Zach still playing football. Yeah. So to describe yourself as retired by circumstance and a combination of circumstance and choice, I'm wondering, I mean,
I'll tell you. Let me just dive into it.
Let's go.
So, playing professionally in the United States, if you're not in the top league, is not financially secure. Is not secure enough to have a family, right? And I have 2 sons, both under 6, and there comes a point in time where I was playing in the lower divisions because the opportunity to go and play in the MLS wasn't there anymore. No teams would give you the opportunity. And then going to play in Europe, they want you at a certain age. And I already went to Asia, right? And for me, when I broke my leg, I got my B license. And, the opportunity to coach came right at the point in time when my lease was up.
Wow.
And the person that recruited me from Trinidad and Tobago to go to UCONN when I was 17 is the same person that gave me the opportunity here to be an academy coach and enter Miami, the David Beckham MLS team.
Well, good. So you're seeing it wasn't necessarily a plan, but it worked out better than you hoped for.
Yeah, it's just incredible. It's just incredible because, to be in terms of how much I could have given, especially to my country, Trinidad and Tobago, I could have given a lot. But if we go back to things like what we spoke about off the recording about being outspoken and saying something is wrong, speaking up, I did that with the national team, and I never got an opportunity to play for my country after that.
Wow. When was the last time you played for Trinidad? What age were you when you last played for Trinidad?
I was in Columbus. That was in 2010 or something like that.
Okay, so a long time.
Yeah.
At 26, peak his powers. You know, being at the peak of his powers basically at that point in time.
2010, 2011, right? So, and after that, I was just increasing. I messaged them to let them know I was healthy, fit. I won Defender of the Year, I won championship, all kind of things. Stephen had all them fellas and them nothing. Because and that is why for me, I don't really rate them fellas and them because they have a boss. They go into those situations and whoever was blackballed or whatever, they don't touch. They have listen to that crap. You understand? Because let me tell you something. It have other players that get blackballed too. The more outspoken players, the players, like tell me something. Right? What kind of character in the heat, in the battle do you want on your team? Right? When you go in a hostile country, right? And you have these players breathing down your back and you have fans throwing bags of right? What kind of character of player do you want on your team, on your national team? Somebody that gonna stand up, somebody that gonna open their mouth and be outspoken and fight. You can't. How could you go past these stages and stuff and evolve as a team if when a player an educated player open their mouth against something that is wrong, you blackball them. This happened to other players too. Right. So it have missing. Trinidad and Tobago has kept themselves, the administration, right, and the poor man mentality of not allowing people to have an opinion, right, has kept them back. There has been missing pieces in Trinidad and Tobago football. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on me. In them 3 years growing up from 13 to 17, and I dug in and I doubled down on it. I went to UCONN and I was 4-year All American. You know what it is to be an first team All American? Coming from a country from 1.5 million people, I came into the United States and I dominated the college system.
Boy, back then it was probably a population of 1 million.
No, 1.2.
That's because of their investment. And then come to the MLS and dominate, right? And then after that, go into the NASL, one trophies and defender the year, one defender the year in the MLS for my team. Now that is an investment that the country made years ago. Now which one of the coaches going to in those years going to be like, wait now, why is this guy not playing? Blah blah blah.
And you're reaching out to them.
Let me do some research.
You're reaching out to them. And you're reaching out to them. No, man.
That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense, especially. I mean, it's a return on investment. That's the whole point of developing players, right?
It's stupid. So your investment, you're showing away that BMW that you talk about.
Boy, so two things. It brings to mind the Kaepernick. You stand for something. You might not play again. So when you stand for things, boy, we know how it may go down.
It's a dead detriment.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing. Who you hurting really?
For sure.
You let your ego. You let your ego affect. Is that like you're willing to let something burn down once you could be in charge of the ashes? and that makes no sense.
Yeah.
My career went on, bro. I am absolutely positive. Given the opportunity, right, I could have helped our country and even guided some of the younger centre backs into the future with my experience and stuff like that. Absolutely positive. Absolutely. Come on, man.
For sure.
What you gonna do if I'm going to, if I'm going, and you know why I get blackballed, bro? Because I wrote an email letting them know when I had gotten injured, right? And I was healthy. And then there was a game that Trinidad and Tobago was going to play in Romania. And I was playing at the, peak of my season.
Yeah.
We number one in the NASL in North Carolina. That's after I left Columbus.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to pay for my flight to Romania. And I was like, what?
Trifling.
Right? And then after that, they said that, they tried to fly me through some country that my passport didn't have. They had to fly me through England. So ring around, right?
Yeah.
I get called because the travel agent, because it was the reason why I didn't get called was because there was a holiday in Trinidad and Tobago.
My God.
And the travel agent couldn't book it on that day and whatever.
What?
That's after.
That's what it tell you?
Yeah, I was in the MLS. Yeah, I was in the MLS and I was being called and stuff. And then I stopped at Columbus. I got I had shoulder surgery, right? And I had a collapsed lung, and I was recovering from all of that. And then I went to North Carolina, and we was number one in the NASL, banging. And that's the reason they tell me. That's after waiting for it was like a decent break. So I wrote an email telling them that I'm so sad, I'm disappointed that the reason that they would tell me that is that it was a holiday. I thought that was very unprofessional.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope going forward, this doesn't happen to any other people. I hope there's something to rectify that.
Yeah.
The person replied back. Jamal Shabazz was the coach. He replies back, and you know what he does? He CCs all the other heads in the TTFA, right? And that was it for my international career. Wow. They went to the world, and that year, that was Romania. That was the last game before they went into the Gold Cup, and they had a pretty strong team. Yeah. I tell you, missing pieces.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he probably wanted to get some of his players there so that they could be sold and whatever. But the greater good wasn't being served.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I was banging in North America, banging. I was one of the top defenders in North America.
And what's up for Trinidad football?
Yeah, ask you all ever wonder how Johansi Marshall never got called to the national team?
I know I know he didn't get called up either.
I never wonder that.
Yeah, I never knew why.
This country is like they want a bunch of da-ass. They want a bunch of people that don't want to say nothing. They're not going to stand up. You understand? They're just going to take whatever. But we go away. Right, we experience the world. We experience high professionalism, and we're trying to express to you that we could do better. Let's try to do better. Like, this is not how things should work.
Yeah,
and you just exclude those brains from your team that will lift the professionalism up.
But that's not only Trinidad alone. I was watching the Pele documentary, 1970 World Cup. The first coach. They tell me, they say he was doing things and they were trying to speak to him, and they were saying, let me just talk about it now, coach. Let me just think about what you're doing now. And he was getting on bad, lying to the media, thing. So, but the only thing is he went up against Pele now, so it only had one winner. And now they're not bringing in Mario Zagallo. I was like, so it's not only in Trinidad, it's just...
No, it's very...
It's universal.
I was going to make the same comment that national team football tends to have a lot of, as you start looking through it throughout the years, you're just seeing a lot of either politics or just a lot of things that just don't make sense. So many high quality players that don't get selected. So many high quality players that Like it just doesn't make sense, even on form or just like overall ability or overall years of service. Like it just doesn't make sense. So I'm not surprised there's stories behind it, but it doesn't.
It works with us. It works with us because of how small we are.
But it doesn't even make sense, right? The story doesn't really justify it. It's a shipping story, basically, right? You telling me the story as to why Julius James didn't get on a team is because the travel agent couldn't do it on public holiday.
That's the reason. That's the reason.
Like if the travel agent is working at a government building and he get locked out or something, now you lock out the computer chain up or something. I don't know.
Expedia doesn't work on holidays too.
Everything shut down.
Yeah. Come on, man. Give me a better excuse than that. I like the boat telling me, the boat captain telling me that Breeze blew him off, of course. Big man, don't do that.
The one that gets stuck?
Yeah. Breeze make me stick, boy. Insulted by the excuse.
So on a lighter note, you have a picture there where it looked like you in a picture of Ronaldinho. When was that? What was that?
That was a game against AC Milan.
And that was you playing for Columbus?
I was playing for DC United.
DC United. Yeah.
I'll tell you the players that was on that team. It had Ronaldinho,
Pato,
Seedorf, Abiati, Abate, Massimo, Odo, Mancini,
yes.
Nesta,
the boss.
Inzaghi.
Tell me again, one jersey there.
How much jersey? How much autograph?
Come on, jersey, I'm thinking again.
Oh, them fellas on them, watch that. Them fellas on them was real sharks, boy. I was too kind of
reserved.
Yeah, I was too reserved.
No, man.
I turned to the man, either somebody done ask him, but
yeah.
You say again like Steve David with Pele. Where he say when they ask Steve David how it feel to play with Pele, he was saying we should ask Pele how it feel to play with me. But I think Andre that year we went to see AC play Inter. Was it that same year? 2010, 2009, 2010?
I mean, it would be the same time. I mean, Ronaldinho was only in Milan for, I don't know, 2-3 years. So it would have been the same period.
Yeah, we went to in Boston to watch them play AC play Inter, which was a real good game. And Malito was chopping boys still. But talk to us about the experience.
Not even this, right? Let me one up that question there.
One it up there.
So, I mean, I know them fellas come in pre-season and things like that. I mean, you've had a career. I didn't even know. So you played in Asia, you say?
No, I went to Asia to try to play over there.
Okay. But I'm saying, so you've had a big career all over different levels, all this stuff. Are there players that stick out in your mind as like definitely the best you've seen on a competitive game? And who would that be? And then how does it compare to like these fellas on their preseason and thing? Like, do you still see a different level, even though they're still not really fully fit and thing? Ronaldinho is still like levels above and thing like that.
Yeah. The two guys that stick out to me is always Thierry Henry. He always sticks out to me. His level of competitiveness makes me feel okay about who I am.
You played against Henry?
Yeah, when he was in New York
Red Bulls.
Yeah. I played against him often.
Nice.
And his level of everything, his finishes look so easy.
Yeah.
He's played to win too now, just like you. He's played to win.
Yeah.
I
He don't play.
Yeah, and then I heard about him in practice and stuff like.
He's like the Kobe Bryant of football. Them real always looking angry
and vexing with man.
And don't play and I want to win.
I want to win. Winning just make you happy and thing. And
for sure.
And so you just feel good. You just feel sad and
for sure.
So he's be talking crap with defenders and thing, or he's be talking crap to opposing defenders and thing.
If you talk crap, he'll talk crap. He's a gamer.
Yeah.
You understand? He not like above it. He down in there scrapping and thing, you know. Fellas want to win. Them wherever they go, they want to win trophies and thing.
No doubt. And who's the other guy?
And Ronaldinho was classy man, classy. He did this thing. His touches on the ball was just. He had fun. Everything I see on TV is everything that I see who he was. Like smiling, you know, friendly, but you know, in the game, he's enjoying himself and doing his little things. That guy is special, man. That guy is special. Yeah.
For sure.
He did a bicycle. I know.
Bicycle, yeah.
Did research, yeah. He did a bicycle. He ran down the Pato ran down the left side.
Yeah.
Dribbled past one of our defenders, and Ronaldinho was, you know, running into the box, and he kind of check back for the cross. Now he thought he would have given any check, and I was still on him because I saw he some mark in the box really tight.
Yeah.
And by the time the ball came to him, right, he already calculated what he had to do, but he kind of needed some space, so he hit my little elbow. He get some space, and then when his touch put the ball into the ground, and then back up. And then he did his bicycle, but I was right there watching him.
You do it.
So I put my hand to block his foot from following through to hit me in the face.
Okay.
Right.
And he ended up hitting the post.
It's all right.
It happened really quickly. And the cool thing about it is that I have pictures of it, yo. Somebody caught the picture of him doing it, and I'm like right there watching him. I
wish somebody had a picture of the elbow again. Just something
to video, no.
Yeah, the video.
I'm gonna find it. So now you see that, I'm gonna find that.
I'll definitely find that, and that's going up as one of the pictures on the thumbnail for sure. For sure.
And then if I could follow up that question with so if I play so a lot of times you watch former players talk and things like that. So I don't know. We never ask you what club professional club you support and thing? Are you a fan watching European football and thing like that?
I like to watch all football.
Just not really a fan of one in particular.
Nah, when Dwight York was with Manchester United, I used to support them, and then you know it seemed like if their core values changed. And their outfit changed, and then I didn't really, like them anymore. And after that, I just kind of would follow what the coaches would do and stuff like that. But I never really followed one team. You know, I'd love to watch the derbies.
Yeah. Right.
See all the chitter and chatter, everybody talking back and forth.
Ridiculous.
Then I jump on Arsenal. Jump on the Arsenal people about supporting Arsenal and why.
Yeah. Why? Why?
Now and then, just chuck a little thing, but
yeah.
I like watching Barcelona play sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. Real Madrid, PSG, those games, Dortmund, Liverpool, them games, I love watching football, but I wouldn't say that I have a team that I supported after Manchester United.
I was bringing that up to say, so like, you watch former Manchester United players talk and things. So they talk about players like, they didn't make it, but this was like the best player they ever played with and things. So example is a lot of the class of 92 or whatever, let's talk about Ravel Morrison, right? As being
like this class somewhere 92, but yeah.
I know it was after them, but they just talk about he in training was better than Pogba, and he was blah blah blah. Is there a Trinidad player either from Intercal days or on the national team that who you saw was definitely better than anything else, but he didn't really make it, so that the public don't know about him?
That the public don't know about?
Yeah, the public don't realize how good they were or whatever.
I mean, Keon Daniel Skiller.
Yeah. He on that field, and he was real.
He was one of the most silkiest, naturally talented people that I saw.
Yeah.
And there was this guy in the under-17 national team called Dynamo. He's a Tobagonian. It have people that just like super special.
Yeah.
On the ball. Like the CD ball and the angles and thing different.
How we do that? How?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And for me, Keon Daniel is one at a higher level, and this guy Delano
play at his own pace. Nobody could fluster them.
Keon Daniel was introverted, and you were just like, you're taking no fight off, no kind of tripness. that how he used to be, but he had real touches for us.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. I mean, I thank God for being from Trinidad and Tobago, because even in this small goal growing up, small goal tournaments, just playing is so much skill.
Yeah. Share thing now.
Yeah. And I think from playing football in Trinidad and Tobago, I have had the pleasure of seeing some of the more talented players that somebody would see in their career. You know what I mean? And
for sure.
Prepared me, honestly, sweating in Trinidad and Tobago and playing against so much skillful players is what prepared me to be the 1v1 the dominant 1v1 player that I became as a professional.
Because most men never see an air spanner like we see it before. We see air spanner long time, reverse spanner long time.
Air spanner,
we seen everything. We seen
all them things.
Again 360 drag, normal,
yeah. All that. I used to see them fellas over here. I used to see some of them fellas trying their moves and thing, and I used to be like,
come on, dog, really? Come down, man.
Just give me the ball. Just give me it.
So back on a more serious note now. So like so you come across to the US on a scholarship. That was full athletic, right? That's full football scholarship.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God.
And then
that, man. One of my dreams too.
Right. Okay, yeah. So then you're playing the MLS, you're playing the NASL.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get into coaching. So you talk about it a little bit.
MPSL and the USL.
What's MPSL?
NPSL is the lowest division that I played in at the end of my career.
Okay.
So
what state?
In New Jersey. I played for FC Botong.
Okay.
Almost won a little championship over there. And I was in the USL also with Sacramento Republic.
Yeah. So you was all over the country, but all over the US. East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. Blessed to travel, blessed to experience, you know.
What's your favorite state? What was your favorite state?
Pretty mind place or
Columbus, Ohio. I love Florida. Right? Columbus, Ohio was really nice. That's why I played my 2 years in Columbus. The cost of living was
very
pretty
low. Comparably low. Yeah.
Yeah, the people were really nice. You know, the women were beautiful.
I never heard about Ohio before. So
the Midwest have very, very nice, you know, very nice people.
Okay.
All I know about Ohio is the
LeBron James.
No, the food. It's not good. It's
the Buckeyes.
I talk about food. I forget what they call it, yes, with the cheese and mincemeat business. Anyway.
Philly
Philly
cheesesteak. Nah, cheesesteak is Philly.
They have some kind of chili that is made in Ohio. I think they put chocolate in it, all kind of thing. It's madness, or no? It's madness. It's madness. I went up there and I was just like, what are you doing, buddy? Anyway.
Did you go to a fair? Did you go to a fair?
No.
Fair?
No. So a company I used to work with, headquarters was up there. So I would visit. And then when I go there, when I go there, people now want to tell me, oh, hey, let's go and try this. This is the best chili. I was like, dog, what is this? What's this brown thing in this? Yeah.
That's another thing that I appreciated about Ohio. It was that a lot of headquarters was there. A lot of headquarters for big American companies. Yeah. And Ohio is also a swing state in voting.
Okay.
Most of the times where Ohio goes, that is where the country does end up going.
Okay.
So it was multicultural and stuff like that, but South Florida is definitely my favorite. And
I love Florida.
That's where I know.
Yeah, I ended up. That's where I am right now.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I was trying to get to. So what? So you started doing your badges and thing. You said you did your badges. You did one badge after you got injured, right?
Yeah, after he broke his leg.
Right.
And then then he continued.
No, I've been sitting on that B license for some time now, and I'm waiting to get the go ahead over here at Inter Miami to start my A. Well, when it's also available.
Because the spots. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your mandate at Inter Miami right now?
Like what do I do over here?
Yeah, well, what did they pitch to you as saying, well, Julius, we believe it could be a city organization by doing this. This is our plan. How did they sell that to you, and what's your mandate in terms of what you're supposed to achieve?
Well, no, they didn't sell anything to me. The opportunity arose, and it was a new expansion team 2 years ago when it started.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to build something great from scratch was there for me. And I appreciate building legacy, and I appreciate doing big stuff. And I realized that from looking back in my life.
Right.
I didn't really pay attention to it until, in my depression and of stopping playing and going on and stuff like that. I started to realize when writing my resume that wait now, you've been involved in some crazy big stuff, like and it's by choice, So the opportunity came to do that, and it came at the end of my career where things were, kind of not sturdy as a family man would want it to be. And
in terms of like guaranteed income or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. Insurance and them kind of things, So that was there, and I took that. But my mandate over here was when I first started to be with the U14 team, right? And also help out with operations, and also kind of whichever coach might need help, float around like that. And as time went along, I went into more community work too, and getting involved with that. So I was named to be the head coach of the Special Olympics team that each MLS team was supposed to have. And when the COVID came, we were supposed to have games and do some things with that, and that didn't work out. But now I'm working with the U12s, who are the foundation of the lowest ages. Well, U12s, that age is very special in everything. That is where you start playing from U9 to 11. But anyways, I'm at the base of the foundation, the building, like that. And I'm also doing operations and community work. Our mandate as coaches are to use our experience and the core values that they set forth for the association, for the organization, and use it to not only create better footballers but better human beings. We try to develop the South Floridian demographic, and we just flow all our information into them to make them all round.
Okay. So was the talent identification process like? Do they come to you? Do you go looking for them? How does that work in terms of like getting those U12 players into your system?
Both. We have a discovery program where for all the age groups, players, the coaches do scouting, right? And we have a scouting program too, where we will have scouts look around in South Florida.
Okay.
And our discovery program will have the kids come in and train with us during the season for one session a week, or one session every 2 weeks. And through that, we pick the creme de la creme.
Okay.
And we prepare to give more players in South Florida an opportunity. So we have to give players that may not have been producing and taking the opportunity as well. We have to give them the chance to go back into the demographic and improve it as much as they could. But we have to give the demographic the opportunity to come in and be part of the special program, which is free.
Right.
Just something that is huge in America. Because
it costs a lot to play football in the US.
Pay to play.
Well, at least Zlatan was saying that. What you're saying, like $400 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So how many kids are you all dealing with though?
So we have you 12, 13, 14, 15, and 17. And
how much teams at each level? Just one, boys and girls, or what?
No, just boys, and most teams will have like a big enough to play 11v11.
Okay.
24, 25 players. The U12 being the base has 28 players.
Is there a ranking system, like per player? How does it work?
Yeah, we have the coaches. We sit down every couple weeks and we rank our players and we talk about them. We talk about the improvement, what they need, and we set up the teams for the next year. So while we're going on and we setting up the team for the next year and also talking about what we could do, and then we have the discovery players that we put in.
So I don't want to put you on the spot or anything. So I have a son. He's in your team. What would he need to be for you to rank him number one?
Well, he has to be the best on the team.
Right. So
well, for us, right? It is how you take our information and use your abilities. How fast you could take our information and use your abilities and apply it to the game.
Right.
Not when we tell you to do it, when the game calls for it to be done.
Yeah.
Right.
So the higher the people, the kids that get that is the best, that is ranked, they not only come with skill, but show the mental capacity to bring this information in and put it out. And also what we do in the academy is that we squeeze the players. So we always give them difficult things to do. We always make them, we always put them under pressure. We always stress them out.
Yeah.
We have times when we don't do it, but most times we do that.
It's done strategically,
Yes, yeah.
So you can see the mental.
Right, yeah.
Mental part.
So your son will have to show mental capacity in that form too, and being able to stand pressure and stress.
Yeah.
His reaction to stress, his reaction to losing is bro, this one I say.
Yeah, we far behind. There's nothing like that locally. I have nothing like that, I tell you. Nothing like that.
So I have two questions. So one is into Miami, how integrated is it from the under 12 level, with a pathway to the first team? So are they supposed to be playing like the same formations and thing and all this thing?
Absolutely. Let me just stop you right there. We have brilliant coaches with us, right? But we have our
Gary Neville is the top one, right? Is the top
Phil Neville, not Gary. Phil.
Yeah, Phil Neville. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
One of the Nevilles.
Yeah.
We have our core values and our systems and our principles that we run all our thoughts through. Right? And that is how we do things. Some coaches may change formation because we feel like if it makes sense in an academy for developmental purposes, players get the opportunity to hear different voices and also get different coaching styles. This is how I feel about what I see. Hear different coaching styles and also different formations. You understand? But it's still run through our principles, our coaching principles.
Yeah.
In defense, attack, midfield, transition to defend, transition to attack. So, number 1, number 2 zone, number 3 zone.
Yeah.
We have our principles in those places, and we have our core values. And then coaches have,
So
our pathway, like last year, we had 2 U15 players sign professional contracts. Wow. This year we had 2 more, and as I say, we always trying to put our players in positions to stress, but not to. We don't want them to fail.
Right.
But you want to challenge them.
Trying to push them to fail so that they would learn
from
their mistakes and learn how to. Because we're not going on spoon feed. If you have to feed a horse, you have to continue to feed the horse if you bring it to the water.
Yeah.
When you bring it to the water, right? So we educating them in a way where is discovery and stuff like that. But as I say, we have players that we push up. We like teams. We have a youth 14, 15 player right now playing with these 17s.
Yeah.
And I think he should go up and play with. I think he should go up more. But we have a couple players. We always trying to.
Yeah.
So the pathway. The players could see
it,
the opportunities. Yeah,
I'm interested in how do your coaches at the different levels, how do you manage that, man? So y'all meet very often or something, weekly or something, reviewing stuff. How do y'all keep that together? Because it's easy for, it's kind of easy for different levels to do different things.
It's my job, It's my job. I go in when I leave to work. When I leave my family to go and work, I go into the office. And we sit down and we talk football. It's football we talking all day.
Best work, boy.
We're talking about players. We're talking about movement, fields, you name it. Positions, players coming in, dates. We planning. We have our sessions planned out for the next. We have our sessions planned out. Our macro cycle for the next couple months. And then our micro cycles, we will have it a week or so in advance or more according to how you feel, and then you just sting it. And all these sessions, all the coaches sessions on a plan.
All your fancy drone footage or training and thing.
For the MLS team.
So my second question was going to just be so is there a MLS, is there an under 12 league where you're playing different MLS teams under 12s?
Every the U12 league is not the same as the rest of the academy, because first of all they play 99.
Okay.
And they play with a size 4 ball instead of a size 5 ball.
All right.
The games are not 45. It's
20, 35
or 30. I can't remember because I've been moved to the 15s and the 17s to help, because one of the coaches went to the MLS team and we're trying to just move everything around to make sure everything floats properly now. But there is a U12 league. Right now our U12s are ranked number 1 in the country.
Nice.
For things that they do. Again, I'm not playing football, but I feel like if I want to dominate,
you want to win.
Winners
win, bro. So I take the poll. Let me take the poll one time. So.
That don't mean that I don't lose. That don't mean that I won't take no losses, huh?
Yeah. We feel it.
For me, when that happens, is a time is learning time. What happened? What could we do? How could we fix that? It's time to open up the thinking tank and figure out.
That's what life is about.
For me, if you're constantly thinking and constantly evolving, your chances of losing kind of goes down. Because you're ahead of the curve, you're just pushing it,
All right. So as we here on the home stretch, you could tell us about in all your football experiences, what is your most treasured memory? Your most treasured football memory?
Or the good one first or the bad one?
Treasure. Give me both of them. Whichever one you feel should be first.
I mean, oh my goodness! Thank God for a great career, man, and for his blessings and stuff like that. But one of my treasured memories in football is scoring on my professional debut, a header against LA Galaxy at home. After not playing, I was injured in preseason, and I was just sitting out, and summer window came, and incredibly again, 2 center backs went down.
Yeah.
One center back. And I get a chance to go on, right? And it was like July 7th or 8th or something like that. And you know, score a header, bro, on my professional debut.
That 44-inch boot. That 44-inch boot coming at you. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I'll tell you, I see fans of them MLS teams calling you a legend and thing. I see it on social media and thing. Like, you post something and man go say, "Oh, DC." No, but
No, they recognize him.
For sure.
Yeah, I always had a good relationship with the fans. That's one thing. I would always talk to them after the games, reach out, you know, shake their hands, autographs, whatever, you know, because it's human, and I was a fan. I am a fan, you know. And
right.
It's good to make people feel special, man.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's a great opportunity that you get as a footballer to get the opportunity to make people feel special. That's a special thing to do, you know.
For real.
So my other memory that would always stay with me is in that same under-17 World Cup against Brazil, I scored an own goal.
Oh.
Yeah. Home game in the stadium.
I mean, you score just your wrong net, but you see it there. No, I mean, no, it's just.
Well, how was that pressure? Was there any pressure after
I wanted to jump in the ground. I wanted to dig a hole and jump in the ground. Because as a young defender, you know, playing as the biggest stage, you know, biggest game of your career.
Yeah.
And, you know, trying your hardest in front of your home crowd. It's very embarrassing. And, you know, to make it worse, you know, being a Trinidadians don't feel sorry for me.
No, at all. Sorry, boy, watch that. Wait.
Watch that.
You could actually hear men stoops in the crowd. You can hit everybody.
Uzi, right?
And my friends and them, when I went home, they call me Escobar.
So Julius, you have anything that you would define as unfinished business though? In terms of football, like what you still setting out to achieve in your football relationship career now at this juncture? As
a coach or as a player?
Whatever, anything, unfinished business, anything that you say, nah, you know what? I have to get this done.
I wouldn't say anything is unfinished. I would say that I'm building my legacy, you know. The Cambo Play Foundation is building, you know, we're going forward. I plan, you know, my plan is to make it an international foundation.
Okay.
Right? And if that
can you tell us about Cambo Play?
The Cambo Play Foundation, I could tell you about that. The Cambo Play Foundation is a group of football players that came together with the help of one of the reporters that worked in football. We came together with a common goal to contribute to Trinidad and Tobago in a positive way, with integrity, right, and with honesty, and different what we have seen in the past. And we use football as a catalyst for change, where we go into orphanages and the differently able schools, secondary schools, at-risk communities for crime and stuff, and we mentor them on making the right choice, and we spend time with them and we coach them, and we gain relationships with the teachers, and we just try to use our knowledge of the game and the mistakes that we make, and we just pour into these kids, right? And we show them that they don't have to make a choice. They don't have to make the easier choice, which might be, crime. They don't have to make the easier choice, which might be the negative choice, We teach them about women's rights. We teach them about mental health.
Wow.
We want to start teaching them about finance.
Realistic development.
Bullying. We talk about self. We have a lot of programs that we have run in the past with the U.S. Embassy. That the U.S. Embassy is one of our biggest supporters.
Wow.
We have a mental health program. Did you all know that Trinidad and Tobago had the third or second highest suicide rate amongst young adults in the region?
What?
Not at all.
I didn't know
that.
Yeah. I did not know that.
I heard that. I mean, people talking about people drinking Gramax Zone and all that.
But we don't hear much about it these days. That's shocking.
Yeah, because it's
mental health is not. Yeah.
It's flooded with all kind of stupidness.
Yeah.
But so we joined up with a mental health specialist, and we had some mental health programs that we was running. We had a program that we have run and we possibly going to run with mixture of Trinidadian kids and Venezuelan kids, immigrants. Because it's just kids. They have no safe space. So we the U.S. Embassy and us had a project where we was doing an after school program, and we active. We haven't been as active as we want to be. We are going to start expanding our board, and going to start expanding our community of people that want to help and people that want to, we're going to start taking applicants and stuff for that.
Nice.
Because there's a lot of work to do in Trinidad and Tobago. And, there's a lot of good people that want to help, but they just don't know how to, and, in which way or form they could do it. So, social responsibility is something that is very, very dear to me. That's part of me. If that's something that was a question you could have asked me, that I would tell you is giving back and planting back into life and into society and into people is something that is important for me. I know that God gave me this vessel to reside in for life, but I also understand that I could have been in another vessel that could have been not differently able, right? And how would I want people to treat me if I was born a certain way, And I always kind of put myself in a situation. And also what helps me to do that is that I spent a greater part of my teenage years with my differently able uncle, parents, and just being around them. And my best friend growing up was deaf.
Right.
Oh wow.
So I learned sign language a little bit,
cool.
So
that's cool.
I get to be close to that community, so I have a heart for I have a bigger heart for humanity, I would say, and for people that cannot really give to me anything. Yeah. People that that need more attention and need more help, need that support from society that society often doesn't pay attention to and often don't do anything for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true.
That is something really cool. That is there to me, and you know, I wanted to kind of push that to Ollie and let you know this is something that I do. This is the Canvo Play Foundation is something that I am part of and that I'm very proud of to be on the board and helping Trinidad and Tobago go forward into the future.
No, well, we really appreciate it. Really appreciate that because sometimes we really just don't know. We don't know how we could contribute or that it exists, but that's really cool stuff.
Tim Marshall is one of the founding fathers also.
Okay.
And Sean De Silva.
Well, that's good.
That's good, man. I like that as former players pushing that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So you mentioned the fact that your experiences in terms of dealing with persons who may not be as well treated by society was one of the major aspects in your life. What other guiding principles? Because I've heard you mention God a lot, so I know your faith is a strong point. But what other guiding principles you think was really pivotal in your development?
Other than my faith?
Well, I mean, you could expand on the faith because I'm sure the faith linked to a lot of other things, but tell us about the ones that you see as most crucial.
Yeah, my faith was the most crucial, bro. I'll be straight to you about that. There is no, like, how many situations I kind of mentioned to you all, I was just God.
Yeah.
It's like, I could not really, like, do anything for this to happen. Nobody. It just, somebody vibe with somebody and somebody vibe and vibe to go and end up in the situation. Obviously, I took my opportunities and, you know, sing it. But yeah, I have been blessed, man. I have been blessed, and I know that I cannot just live my life and not do more with it.
Right.
To spread, to bless, to just flow more blessings. You know, I have to multiply. I have to, you know, I have to take what I was given and do more to help more people like myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
That did not have much, that had one shoe for everything, for football, for school, for church, to God, you know. Everything, you know, that, you know, crime, gunshots, a lot of my friends are dead from crime, right? It have good people that are in situations that just need a little light. And they need people that left to reach back in. The brain drain is real, you know. That's a real thing.
No doubt. We always talk about it. Yeah.
So that, you know, my faith has been one, but also my father always told me that if you don't do it right the first time, you have to do it again.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I hate that. I hate that. But you know, you just realize, man. You just realize that them kind of simple sayings, you know. It's simple for a reason, so you can remember it.
Remember it,
It's hard times when you can't even think, but you can remember, okay, if you don't do this properly, you gotta come back and do it again, yo. Just do it properly.
Yeah.
That kind of principle for me,
you
know, is great, but that for me ties into the principle in my faith that tells us to do everything as unto the honor and glory
of God.
So, you know, when you start start doing things like that, when you tell somebody good morning and it stoops in your face, it doesn't matter because you wasn't really doing it for them. Yeah. You was doing it as unto the honor and glory of God. Yeah. And if you have a job and you had to clean somebody's shoes, you're not really doing it to clean that person's shoes. You're doing it as unto the honor and glory. You get a fixed point in which you could do things. And what happened with me later in my career, this is why I'm leading up to this, is through playing, I realized that I wasn't playing for the honor and glory of God, right? For a bigger part of my career, you know. There was a Bible study that one of my teammates did, and he talked about us asking God for our talents and our efforts to be taken as praise unto Him. And, you know, I started to enjoy football more when I started to not play angry and not play to go on like crack and stuff like that. But my capacity increased when I started to just play to, be competitive, but to be an honor, you know. And, you know, that principle has helped me not only in football, but throughout everything, because, you know, sometimes even your co-workers, you know, sometimes even your boss, sometimes, you know, your teammates that would get under your skin, or just people that wouldn't be good people to you. Yeah. But you know what? You know, if you keep that principle, your work, your efforts would be A-class no matter what. Yeah. You're going to be consistent, and that is something that is lacking in society. People are consistent, and we allow situations and stuff to hamper our output. And I think it's because we lose focus on, for me, my output could be hampered when I lose focus on God. Right. The focus I have on God, and I focus on doing everything unto the honor and glory of God, is the higher quality I just bring.
So that saying alone, so through that saying, you just being professional right through. So it come across as professionalism, but you doing it to God glory. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, when they look at me, they have to see, I want people to see God. I want people to be like, who is, what he does do? Who he does serve? Who is his God? He read blessed by. Look at the work, look at the level, look at what he does do, look at why, what is it, what? And then I would just point them straight to God, because that is it for me. I've experienced a lot of things. We could talk about sex, we could talk about alcohol, we could talk about womanism, not womanism,
womanizing.
Yeah. We could talk about all them things. And, you know, I had my time with that, and I realized them things is just instant gratification. Money, fame, all those things is not, it does nothing for your heart, for your soul. When you achieve it, when you win the trophy, the next day you're feeling...
On to the next trophy. Next year. Grind again.
But how much trophies you could win? How much trophies you could win? How much women you could have sex with? I sit down and ask myself, when I was real talk, man to man, when I was womanizing and thing, bunch of times, and I ask myself, because I used to want certain things when I was a child, when I was a young adult that I didn't have. And now that I had it, like, how many women could you sleep with? Really and truly.
You cannot.
Don't ask Will Chamberlain that though.
And then what after all that?
I'm just joking. Well, I understand what you're saying.
So through all them experiences, you know, I come back to one. One person, one thing makes me feel the most satisfied as a being. I don't crave for more. I don't crave more women. I don't crave more alcohol. I don't crave more food. You know, I don't crave to get attention from people. You know, I don't crave, you know, these things don't make, I'm not like looking to these things to make me feel happy.
Right. Yeah.
That's the point that I'm at now. This is after like years and years and years of just damaging behavior. Like real damaging behavior. You know what I mean?
Right. You sound like a man that went through therapy. It's almost like, so you hear some people who just talk, so, you know, as an example, but Kevin Hart, if you ever listen to Kevin Hart over the years, how his speech has changed, you could tell he's been through therapy, right? So you sound like a man that I'm glad for you, really. Even if it's just, you know, it's not even therapy, it's just going to chill,
realization, a realization,
whatever it is, it's happy for you because you find purpose.
Yeah. I'm still going to be trying to dive in deeper to what it is. For me, this conversation with Olia didn't happen by chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, fruits. What's the fruit of this?
Yes.
Now we had to create something we had to, you know,
something
the
positive
vibration that we feel is,
you
understand? The vibration that we feel is not fake. You know, I don't think anybody here, like everybody trying to be as, you know, as open as possible and whatever. And I am too, you know. So
correct.
You know, that the purpose is to elevate each other.
Educate,
encounters.
Bridge the gaps. But I really appreciate that story again because that'll definitely help somebody who going through what you've been through.
And also too, leading into that segues into another thing. What path or what I don't want to say path because it could vary, but what would you try to encourage a youth, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, they say 11, 12 years old, who probably wants to be a footballer? What like where should he try to place himself? Where should he try to go? What advice would you have for him in addition to what you said previously?
Right. I would advise, because of the current climate of Trinidad and Tobago football, I would advise for people like whoever is trying to become a professional footballer to go the college path, right? That will give you an opportunity to come out of the country, right? Yeah. This is for me, Trinidad and Tobago football has not gone anywhere from since I was a child. It has gotten worse. And this is the vision that I saw for myself to get out of the country when I was 14 and 15. And this is the same thing that is even worse right now. To become a professional from Trinidad and Tobago is extremely difficult.
Not just to become a professional, to stay a professional, to have a long-lasting career, is that
right? To have all that stuff. So I would advise the young player to become the scholarship material player first and take that opportunity to bounce into the pros or bounce from the United States out to wherever you have to go. Because to leave from Trinidad and Tobago is not easy. It's very, very difficult. Keep your virtues, work hard, believe in yourself, right? even when people tell you that everybody playing football, blah 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 blah, right? When the younger you are, the more potential you have. Yeah. You could go in any direction. Trust me, please. I didn't know how to juggle a ball all here. They used to make fun of me.
A man can't even raise 5 boys. I'm telling you, right?
Discipline yourself. Discipline your mind, right? Discipline is a muscle that you have to grow and you have to maintain over and over and over, even
Facts.
until you have to constantly be maintaining that. It don't drop. It's just a muscle that you have to keep working. Don't take what people tell you as face value. Do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
The internet is out there. Type up, and make sure to have a wise counsel around you. In this day and age, that's another thing that is tough, for athletes and for footballers, is to have people that you could trust around you, because when it comes to money and stuff like that, things just get really wonky.
Yeah, for real.
I would advise them to try to educate themselves on finance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they live their dream to become a footballer, start planning for their retirement as soon as they start playing.
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe start planning from before, and use your football career as a catalyst to increase your businesses that you had in mind. You need to strike the iron while it's hot. Yeah. So your playing career, although it will be at the forefront of your branding, your businesses and your corporations, your non-profits should be building through the network that you meet while you play.
Wow.
The Bible says that your talents will take you before great men, and it will make a way for you and your family. I believe that your football talent, although we feel like it could last for a long time, the football career is very short.
Very short.
Yeah.
I was fortunate to play for about 13 years, but that is 5 shoulder surgeries, collapsed lung, hamstring injuries, groin,
broken
leg,
yeah,
all those things, right? And that is not easy. So, I want to talk about the trust part, but that is a real, if you believe, for the 11-year-old, if you believe in God, talk to God and ask for God to give you a discerning spirit, because it have a lot of snakes that you will encounter.
Mm-hmm.
For the locker room, when you're not happy with your coach, don't feel free to talk to your teammates about it, because some of those snakes could be your teammates that would take opportunity to be a tattletale and
competition to them.
Yep. And that will happen, I promise you. Be careful with women.
I hear that one before. That's the first time I hear that one.
Yeah. Don't feel free to talk shit about your coach with your teammates.
Yeah.
Facts.
About women, if you think, I learned this a long time ago, if you're, playing at a decent level, if you think you are taking home a woman when you see her at the bar, we underestimate the woman species, and we need to know that she is probably taking you home.
Facts.
Be careful as an athlete. Do not do anything in public that you do not want to be televised or posted. Pictures could be taken. Don't drink and drive. Call a Uber. Don't post when you're emotionally charged. Don't post when you're drunk. Don't post when you're high.
Who does Far East up there? Stuart Pace? What's his name?
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pace.
Also the box quarterback. Also
when you go on trial, don't give your passport, give a copy of it.
Wow.
When you go on trial, don't eat foods that you do not know.
Yeah.
Try to drink bottled water until you get accustomed to the.
Wow.
Julius, this sounded like you went through real thing, boy. First hand, second hand, you went through real thing, boy.
The race experience is the best teacher, so
I've been thinking for years. I've been thinking about making a forum where young footballers could go and just get answers to some of
get knowledge.
Mentorship kind of,
You know,
that would be
what to do when I go to Asia and the agent asking for your passport. You do not give it to him because he could imprison you.
Yeah, for real.
That has happened. You know, when you're going on trial, why eating the native food? If you're on trial, you're going to win a contract. You're not going on try no native food. You know, what if you eat it and the food work in your stomach, you can't perform, you're dehydrated, ting. You understand? Why you drinking the water? You have to, show what kind of thing, all those kind of things.
Quality of the water.
Contract. It's have real things. I mean, even in college, like we have Trinidadians coming over and losing scholarships and closing doors. No Trinidadian has been over to UCONN in some years. Over 5 or 6 years for a specific reason.
Bad experience from the
A Trinidadian went and closed the door.
Yeah. Wow.
So, these kind of things, we need more mentorship in Trinidad and Tobago. We need more education for our boys and our girls leaving the country so that they could keep this scholarship and open more doors.
Because they're ambassadors and they're not just themselves, they're letting down our country indirectly.
Some of us are coming over and dying. It had some kids come over on scholarship and dying on the road and things.
I remember that. Yeah.
So, things need to come in place. And me having this conversation and pushing that vibration out, I hoping that we could spark something and spark more conversation so that
I hope so too.
We start taking care of our children going out and showing them if we take care of them, they're going to come back. They're going to feel our passion to be able to come back and help more. The brain drain won't continue. You understand? So, yeah. Nice combos, guys.
Julius,
that was epic.
Julius, I really appreciate that you, Julius. Trust me. I really.
The only one last thing I will say is so anybody that anybody in your network that would be a good person for us to talk to as well, because again we wanna have the
yeah. I mean you could talk to Johansi Marshall. You could talk to Johansi.
That'd be great.
He's a stalwart in Trinidad and Tobago.
I think he played on the futsal team now, man.
Yeah, futsal team. That guy, you all should set up some nice questions for him because he has multiple businesses that he's doing.
I like all that song.
He has his family, he's just retiring and trying to he's part of the foundation.
Right.
He's bilingual. I think he played in more countries than I did. More countries.
Right.
And he played in the MLS. He was David Beckham's teammate.
Yeah. LA Galaxy, for sure.
We open to anybody. So, by all means.
Well, thanks again, brother.
Julius,
good conversation.
You just want to thank you for taking the time out to have one of the best episodes. The knowledge, the diverse knowledge I spread, and actually being very open is very appreciated. We're doing this to educate the population on football and clearly broader things, life in general. And just thanks for the time, and hopefully this will help somebody be better people.
Yeah, man. That's the goal. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you. Because I mean, we heard you was on your way back from the field, so I mean, after our training session, to come and fall in is Minister 12 right now, and I mean, I really appreciate it. You didn't have to, and you did it. And I mean, you did it with a wholeheartedness and a sincerity that really makes it even more special. I really appreciate it. Because I mean, it was tight for me. I worked today. I came, I drive down, so I had to be here, and I'm glad I made it. So, you see what I mean? This is why men doesn't talk with it. Nah, serious. But I really grateful, Julius. I really grateful.
Yeah, man. Bros, don't mention it, man. For me, I'm the same person I was, from when I was, the little child in Maloney,
Right. All right.
I'm open to help and push, For me, the more people I push is the better Trinidad and Tobago gonna be. But also, if I push in all forward, if I pushing you forward, I'm not going forward too.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I see that in a thing there. I learned that some time ago. But yeah, it's a real people out here, and I thank God that Ollie reached out to me so that you could see that it doesn't matter where people reach or what they do in their life. It have people out there that really want to just be human beings and want to do good, even though they push and even though they might, be push and dominate or whatever kind of life they live. Everybody's a human at the end of the day. And if you pretending to not be that, you're fooling yourself.
For real. For real.
All right, brother. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot again.
Have a great night.
We got a part 2 and a part 3 and thing.
You keep in contact.
We have to do this again in serious. You have to.
Yeah.
Thanks again, man.
Yeah, Julius.
All right.
Blessings, guys.
Blessings. Blessings.
It's up.
Adro.